gentlemen, I'm Dean, this is Ben, and we're on the hook. We've been meaning to get around to doing an interview video where we could, give you guys some insight into who we are and what we're doing. I have my two children here who are going to conduct this interview for us. We got my daughter doing the questions, and we have my son filming us. So, let's get started, Boo-Boo.
Okay. What inspired you to make a YouTube channel?
Well, I'll let Ben go a little bit on this one.
Hi, I'm Ben. It's On the Hook. What inspired me to make a YouTube channel was, for years I watched YouTube shows. I watched people fishing, and I used to grow up watching fishing on TV, and then all of a sudden it became, you have to pay to get these certain channels, and I figured, you know what, I love fishing. I have family across seas in Germany. They like to see me and see the scenery, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this for my family for now, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere.
Heck yeah. And the fact is, both of us, we fish together all the time, and we decided, you know what, we might as well just start putting it on YouTube, because really, if we're going to be doing it all the time anyway, why not? And then we put these videos out, and the next thing you know, people actually liked them, which surprised the hell out of us. But, yeah, well, the fact is, we are new to all of this. We are new to some degree, we're even new to fishing. We're still learning our species. We're still learning new techniques.
We're still learning what we can and can't do on YouTube.
That's right, yes.
How to handle fish, how to, release them properly, how to film. It's just
I think that's actually the most difficult part, is trying to film everything. Most of the time, like we're in the process of we have GoPro cameras, and we're just waiting on our chest harnesses before we start using them. But anyway, Lou, let's get on to the next question.
What are your plans for the future of the channel?
Well, I figure we're just going to keep on going and trying new places and trying new styles of fishing, and we're going to be adding challenges and getaways and lots of different fishing locations, especially. That's one of the biggest things, is finding new locations. But yeah, we figure we can, there's a never-ending list of fishing opportunities that we can bring to the show. And in the long run, we'd like to have it, work out that we can get monetized and end up having a full-fledged YouTube channel.
Okay. How old were you the first time that you went fishing?
First time fishing for me, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and my dad took me camping to Glimpse Lake, and we would fish on the boat launch, and I would catch one fish after another. And I don't know about Ben, but that was one of my first experiences with it, and I fell in love from a very young age.
My first fish was with my dad in a canoe at 6, 7 years old, 5 years old, and my first fish was, he threw the bait out, passed me the rod, and the fish jumped out of the water into the boat, grabbed the hook, and that began my love for fishing.
Absolutely, right on.
Okay. What's your favorite place to fish?
My favorite place to fish? Well, okay, if we're talking about just here in Fraser Valley, I'm going to say my favorite place to fish would be... That's a tough question, it really is. I kind of love them all, but I think the pond. A pond's been a good place for us. I really enjoyed fishing at the pond. It's always different every time we go there.
We're Fish Trap Creek.
And Fish Trap Creek's another one.
Fish Trap Creek has become my personal local favorite spot, because you can catch everything in there, from trout to catfish, bullhead catfish, not big American catfish, keep in mind. But there's everything, crappie, bass, trout, red ear sunfish, and we catch it all.
Yeah. And the fishing, most people look at Fish Trap Creek and go, there can't be anything in there. But in actual fact, it is just full of fish. And the pond itself is another place that most people don't realize that it's full of fish. And it's amazing that it's not been regulated like other lakes. It doesn't get stocked. It's a natural spawn little pond. And I think that makes it that much more special for me. And Fish Trap, again, is another place where it's mostly wild fish, and the fishing, surprising to everybody that goes by it, I think. The fishing is exceptional.
What's your favorite fish to catch?
Favorite fish to catch? That would be a toss-up between trout and sturgeon.
I would say all the way sturgeon.
Yeah?
Yeah, regardless of the fact that I love catching bass and love catching trout, the fight you get from a white sturgeon,
It's unbelievable, and it's an experience you'll never forget.
no, definitely not.
Ben's biggest sturgeon was 6'2", and approximate weight was about 170 pounds. It was a very large fish. And we only have a still picture of it because we didn't actually get film footage of that fish, but it sure would have been nice had we. One of the big things that's been an issue with us is that we originally started fishing for sturgeon just simply because, well, we had to go out and get bigger rods and stuff like that, and we went and did that. And so we were fishing for sturgeon, and the synopsis, the freshwater synopsis, says nothing about gear restrictions or anything like that. And we were out one day, and we were told by one of the fishing guides on the Fraser River, that it was a minimum 130 pound test and heavy reel and rod, or rod and reel. So in our videos, we actually have us catching sturgeon on inappropriate gear, but we had no idea these regulations were there because it wasn't written in the synopsis. And I think most of us, when we get our fishing license, we read the synopsis, we go through the synopsis for all of our regulations. In this case, it was online, we didn't know. But from now on, we will be sticking to, we'll be finding out every rule before we put our lines in the water. We were approached by DFO, is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, DFO, Department of Fisheries and Oceans, about fish handling issues. And we have already arranged, we told them that we are, going to be much more professional about how we deal with the fish and how we handle the fish. And I think that's going to come out in our videos very well.
Okay, well, do you like fishing on land or in your canoe better?
I'm going to start this one.
Yeah.
I would say myself, fishing on land is fun, but I enjoy fishing in a boat, in the canoe. It's by far my favorite method of fishing. It's one after another. The action is incredible, especially on a good lake at a good time of the year in the right moment. Fishing in a canoe is just the best way to go.
Yeah, it can be extremely exciting, and the fact is, it gives you access. Being in a canoe gives you access to places that you just can't get to on foot. You just can't get to walking along the shoreline. For the most part, I would say fishing offshore is great. Love doing it, but fishing out of the boat gives us we can cover more water, catch more fish. Simple as that.
Do you have a favorite fishing rod?
Yes. My favorite fishing rod growing up was this fly rod. My dad, Mark, gave it to me. It was a gift. I I don't use it in my videos that often anymore, or I haven't, but I will be hopefully catching steelhead and trout and bass on this fly rod this year. That, which I would say, outside that, my actual favorite rod would be this one, just because of this. But we will get into that later in the interview.
Yeah. And my favorite rod is, well, this is one of my favorites. It's a catfishing rod. It's a simple $15 setup that anybody can buy and use. You can get it at Walmart. You know, I mean, I've caught fish on it, and I've found that, you know, you don't have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on equipment to enjoy catching fish. So, in my case, the cheaper the better, really. And as one of my other favorites, I would say the little ugly stick, the little green ugly stick. I think Ben's got 2 of these. With the little bait casting reel on it, this is a perfect little setup for catching little rainbow trout, cutthroat trout, little bass, stuff like that. These little bait casting reels, they cast like a dream. And this setup was only $19. You can't beat it. And the ugly stick rods are almost indestructible. You can't break them. They will bend right over for you. And you know what? I've really enjoyed fishing with this little rod.
Do you guys have any regrets about starting the YouTube channel?
None.
No.
There is no regrets about starting this YouTube channel.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it's been absolutely fun making these videos. As a matter of fact, this has been kind of good for me, for Ben, and I think it might be even good for my kids here, because my son, he's my editor, and my daughter is my creative consultant. They give me my ideas. They give us both our ideas when it comes to our videos. And yeah, I have to give most of the credit to them, simply because all we're doing is the fishing. They're doing the hard work. Next question, my blue.
Okay. Why do you guys like to fish?
That's a good question.
Why do I love to fish? It doesn't matter what body of water or what you're fishing for. The unknown, not knowing what's beneath the water, and any fish that you catch could be that record, could be that fish that's never been seen in the waters. It could be just the hours of wait for a big fish. All right.
Anyway, next question, Blue.
Last question. What is the most expensive piece of equipment that you guys have for fishing?
The most
Actually,
expensive?
Wait. The most expensive piece of equipment, I would say, is our tackle boxes. Literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of tackle in our tackle boxes. But after that, I think most of our gear is not excessively expensive except for this piece right there.
This reel, to get it spooled, to buy it after taxes, cost me almost $300. This reel cost us more than the canoe.
Yeah.
Cost. So, yeah, this is the most expensive piece of equipment we have.
Absolutely.
For sturgeon.
Yeah, other than the canoe, literally. For sturgeon, absolutely.
That's
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have one last thing to do, and that is we have to put a shout out to our first and biggest fan, Austin, and his mom, Megan. And it is an absolute, you guys made our day this morning, and we appreciate your watching our shows. And Austin, we shall see you very soon for a fishing trip. Thank you very much, guys. We will see you out there fishing. Go out, do some fishing, enjoy it, explore, have fun.
And don't forget to click the like and subscribe.